Good morning, Corpus Christi, Coastal Bend, and listeners worldwide. Welcome on in to another edition of the Sunday Sports Rush right here on News Talk KEYS 1440 AM and 98.7 FM. I'm your host, James Espinosa, joined alongside producer and co-host Adin Ducker.
What's Gucci with it?
We got co-host Marco Smatakin in the
What's up,
building.
James?
And joining us, he's on his winter break from college. It is Alex Weister.
Glad to be back in.
Hell yes. The squad has assembled. It's episode number 99 of the Sunday Sports Rush. The road to 100. We are one away. We're excited about that. If you want to take part in this show, you can do so by hitting us up on the text line, 361-882-5397, 361-882-5397. Shoot us a text with any sports opinions that you have. We're with you till 11 a.m. All right. It's a unique morning right now here in the 1440 Keys mothership because we have on the TV the World Cup final. It's Argentina, it's France. They're about 5 minutes into the match. It's still 0-0. We will be updating you throughout the show what happens because theoretically the way this is going to work out, the game will be over by the time the show finishes unless it goes to extra time or penalty kicks, etc.
Yes, and I want to give a fair warning to everybody listening right now. The entire show is on jump scare warning because at any moment if Messi scores, James is going to go nuts. So just be aware, you may get scared by his screaming.
Yes, if Messi does put one in the onion bag, I might lose my crap here this morning. But we will update you throughout the course of the show. We'll kind of flash up on the TV and we'll just kind of give you the score rundown and maybe some major points that have happened. But kicking things off here on episode 99 of the Sunday Sports Rush, I wanted to jump into a topic that has kind of took the Texas high school football world by storm a little bit.
Yeah.
It's Holly and Refugio. Now, they played on Thursday morning. Holly defeats Refugio 54-28. And Holly just absolutely dominated Refugio.
Yeah.
They led by 4 scores at the half. The Refugio Bobcats, 3 turnovers in the first half. Didn't help them out much. They had 4 total turnovers. They had a pick 6 that happened in the second half. And it was just all Holly. Holly dominated this game. But the thing that I want to dive into is what head coach Jason Herring had to say after the game, because his comments post-game stirred a little bit of controversy in these Texas high school football streets, particularly with coaches and fans and things of that nature. So I want to play the audio, Adin, of Jason Herring post-game of his defeat to Holly. And I want y'all guys to tell me, did Coach Jason Herring make an excuse as to why his team got dominated by Holly 54-28? Here is Coach Jason Herring.
We turned the ball over, number one. Okay, that's a big deal. You can't turn the ball over in a big game. This is no excuse, but the routine is so different. You know, Holly lives 2 hours from us and gets to sleep in their own bed and practice 3 times, and we get to practice twice. It's just hard. I love state championships. I hate everything about the way it's set up because it's the most important. I'm just being honest. It's the most important game of the year. We put in all this work, and we get 2 days to practice.
It's the most important game of the year, but yet you've won 3 state titles. But yet this was never a problem before, Jason Herring. It's only a problem when your team gets absolutely shellacked 54-28. But does he have a point at all with the travel, having to go up to Dallas, allegedly only getting 2 practices, not getting to sleep in their own beds? Does Jason Herring have a point that the UIL needs to either rotate the championships from Dallas to Houston to San Antonio? I don't know. I'm curious. What are your guys' opinions on what Jason Herring said? Was he making excuses for why his team lost? 361-882-5397. Hit us up on the text line. What do you think? Marcos.
I think he's definitely making excuses for sure. I think at that point whenever you get blown out that bad, you kind of, as a coach, you kind of just have to like, hey, they were the better team today. We played sloppy football. We'll try again next year.
It was the timing, I think, that really
Yes.
did it for me. The fact that it was the post-game press conference. And look, anytime you have to preface, I'm not making an excuse, but
You're probably making an excuse.
you're making an excuse, big guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the fact that that's what was on his mind right whenever the game ended in his post-game presser, like that, it seems there should be other stuff on your mind football-wise.
Yeah.
You know, like we didn't schematically have the game that we wanted from our coaches. We didn't execute the game plan that we did have, and we played sloppy football.
Or how about just acknowledge your seniors that just lost and played their final game?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Instead of taking away a little bit of that moment, you know, you made it kind of a little bit about yourself and the excuses that you're making. To me, and I'm just going to be dead ass honest with the listening audience, I think it's weak sauce. That's one of the weakest things I've ever heard a coach say, the fact that the travel did this. It didn't hurt you the 3 times you won.
Yeah.
Also, go back to 2015 when they played Canadian in Houston. Canadian is a team that's way up there. That Canadian had to travel over 600 miles to Houston. Refugio about 100, 150 miles to Houston. And Refugio got their ass smacked to that game also. They got blown out by Canadian. The travel wasn't a big deal for Canadian. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's too much to look at here and with this excuse and what Coach Jason Herring said. I'm not buying it. I think your team just got whooped, man. They just got whooped.
I think, we've heard people say that it's always been a problem for him no matter what, win or loss, that he doesn't like playing in Arlington. I don't think it was just because they lost. I think it's always been a issue for him, win or lose.
And I think it's definitely valid. It's definitely a valid excuse, but it shouldn't be like the reason that they lost. It's not the reason that they lost.
The reason that they lost because Holly was more physical than them, and Refugio was too sloppy on with the turnovers. That's why they lost.
Exactly.
They were some big boys at Holly. And look, Refugio had the speed. Refugio had the athletes, but Holly, like Adin just mentioned, had the physicality in the trenches, etc. And they were pushing around Refugio left and right. So I think it's weak sauce. Let us know what you think on the text line, 361-882-5397. Alex, what are your thoughts?
I've been over here doing a little bit of research. There's a lot of teams that were in states that were close to Dallas. Of course, Duncanville, DeSoto, they're all pretty close. Aledo's on the other side. They're over by Fort Worth. China Spring, they're done by Waco. They won. Carthage is over by the border to Louisiana. They won. Franklin's down past Waco. They were actually closer than their opponent. They won. Albany is in the middle of Texas, and they won. I mean, it's not that big of an excuse to make. And one of the main things that I saw was the Bernie excuse. Bernie had to go past China Spring. Bernie was up 21-0. All they had to do was close out the game, and they didn't.
It's like, Bernie was up 21-0, and then all of a sudden they were thinking, oh, no, I didn't get to sleep in my own bed. I'm losing. Like, you see how ridiculous that sounds?
Exactly. It has not been... It was a major debate this year, but I hadn't heard it in years past.
It's been a debate that's been happening with the, there's a lot of people who want them rotated. And the UIL is very strict on who can host the state championships. For one, it has to be a controlled climate. So it has to be a dome. Mm-hmm. So there's only Alamo Dome, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, and NRG Stadium in Houston. That's it. That's literally it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if there was a stadium north of Austin that was a dome, they probably would have it there.
Like if UT were to ever throw on a retractable roof on their stadium, they'd probably host the state championships in the state's capital, which is theoretically the most central location, right?
Right.
But that's just not what it is right now.
You want to know who I didn't hear complaining at all?
Who's that?
Port Neches Groves. I did not hear them complain once, and they're all the way down in Port Arthur, which is on the border of Texas and Louisiana and is about as far as Houston to Dallas. And I didn't hear them complain once. Their fans showed out.
Yes, they did.
And they were there. And their team was doing well. Once again, they weren't able to hold on to the lead, and injuries ended up biting them. But still, they went toe-to-toe with a South Oak Cliff team that is really, really good.
And we will dive into some more state championship talk later on in the show. So,
but I want to say, there was a clip that kind of flew under the radar. Even North Shore's coach,
out of Houston,
John Kay, was kind of echoing the same things that Jason Herring was saying about, like, they have to travel 300 something miles while
Yeah.
Duncanville it's just a 10 mile drive.
If you've been to multiple state titles like both the North Shore and Refugio coaches have, how many has Jason Herring been to now? 7, 8?
This was his seventh.
This was
state
seventh.
appearance.
He is now 3-4 in championship games.
And then looking at North Shore, they've won, 4 of the past 5, you said, Adin, or something like that?
Yeah.
4. They won 1 in 2015, and then they had won 3 of the past 5 seasons.
So when you've been that dominant in states, you can't say anything. You can't, because you've been there, you've done that, you know what it takes. You know what it takes to win. You know what to make your players do, what you have to do to win the game.
You should have a routine down by now.
Exactly.
I mean, you've been there 7 times, man.
You practically live there at this point in the season.
It's an expectation that you make it there. This should be
Exactly.
something that you've already planned out months in advance in hopes of getting there. So
Now, and just a point before we go to break, on Jason Herring, the people in Refugio and his kids absolutely love him. He's
Yeah.
We're
just
not-
watching him. If he were my coach, I'd run through a brick wall.
we're
for the
not
man.
taking away anything from
But-
his coaching ability, any of his successes
But
that
my,
he's ever had.
But I want to make another point to go on top of that. This isn't the first time Jason Herring's been involved in controversy. Remember before he won his state championships, remember that ESPN
They followed him, yeah, a little
outside
bit.
the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was always known as this rambunctious, like this rule with an iron fist over all football games. This dude that ran up the score and whatnot. But he ended up proving his critics right because it ended up helping Refugio go deeper into the state title runs.
And the one thing that worries me the most about this is it sets a bad precedent and a bad tone. With these players, if you show that, we went and we got beat because we had to travel so far, that's going to put the mindset of if these players get to these games again and they get down big time, they can just chalk it up to, we had to travel. We weren't well prepared for this game.
Oh, no, I didn't get to sleep in my bed. Ah! It's absolutely ridiculous.
It is.
Absolutely ridiculous. Jason Herring, you're better than that. You are better than that, man. And look, I mean, yes, I'm a talking head on the radio. I get it. And everybody's going to say, what do you know? You never coached football before. And I haven't. Let's be fair about it, right? But still, I know an excuse when I see one. I know an excuse when I hear one. And Jason Herring was full of excuses in that post-game press conference.
I mean, we've seen his energy full
Yeah.
front. You remember before there was an issue with the pregame MC or something like that, and he got
At the Refugio Shiner game.
It was last year, and Jason Herring got mad at him or something like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's just a fiery guy, but you wish you wouldn't have to do something like that to take away from. It was a good season by his team. Upset wins over Shiner, upset over Timpson.
I mean, yeah, they're a great team, and they're a very young team also.
Yeah.
A lot of sophomores and juniors on that squad. So I wouldn't, it doesn't escape my mind that they'll be back next year. You know what I mean? This is that type of program that's going to run Region 4 and 2A D1 and possibly make it to state each and every year. That is the expectation of Refugio, and that's the way it's been for the past 20 to 30 years. They have a great program, but Jason Herring just got to do a little bit better, man. Expected better out of you. Expected no excuses, man. No excuses. All right, that's going to wrap up segment number 1. If you got any takes on the Refugio situation, hit us up on the text line 361-882-5397. 361-882-5397. We'll get your reactions after the break, but coming up next, we'll have a World Cup update, and we'll talk some 920 news. Keep it locked to the Sunday Sports Rush. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush, episode number 99. The whole crew is with you this morning. James Espinosa, Adin Ducker, Marroquin and Alex Weister. We're with you, and we appreciate y'all guys being with us. Hit us up on the text line, 361-882-5397, for any sports takes that you might have. Coming up here in about 10 minutes, we'll have a Cowboys week that was. Micah Parsons had some comments on Jalen Hurts' MVP candidacy. We'll play that audio and discuss that coming up in 10 minutes' time when we talk some Cowboys. But right now, let's get a World Cup update. All right. World Cup update. Oh, hold up. It's a penalty. It's a penalty. It's a penalty. Okay, Argentina's about to shoot a penalty kick.
This literally happened as he was setting this up.
Literally happened right now. Setting it up. We're in the 21st minute. an Argentinian player was tackled in the box. It's about to be a penalty, and Argentina's going to kick one from the spot. Wow, and he went down kind of easy too.
Well, they're
no,
gonna
got
probably
tripped,
check.
He definitely.
They're probably
tripped up.
they're probably gonna VAR, the virtual assistant referee, and they're gonna check this. I don't think this is a penalty personally, but right now it looks like they're still lining up. So that's where we're at right now. 361-882-5397.
Who drew the play?
Di Maria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't Messi, right? Yeah.
No, but Messi's about to line up from the spot right now.
Ooh, he's taking it.
Yeah,
This
Messi's
is-
about to line up from the spot.
Is this
so-
the World Cup moment?
I don't know. It could be. So yes, this is kind of a loose segment right here. It's the 920 news, but where our World Cup update is literally happening right now. Now I'm not going to do play-by-play because we can't do that. But Messi's about to kick it.
This could very much be one of the biggest conversation points in who is the greatest of all time.
I said jump scare warning. I'm just be on the edge of your seat. You might want to turn down your dial. pretty
Here we
soon.
go. Here we go. He's lining it up. He's going to take it. They didn't say anything about it. He is about to take it.
I'm kind of surprised. There was no real like.
Here we go. Messi lining it up. Messi! Argentina! Let's go! Go! 1-0. 1-0. I told you. I told you he's the GOAT, Adin.
he is the GOAT.
I told you he's the GOAT.
Insanity.
All right. There we go. So it's 1-0 Argentina.
In the 23rd.
23rd minute. Messi buries the free kick, has the goalie looking stupid going the other way.
Oh my God, he's the GOAT.
So much class, world class, so clinical.
Did we just break like every sound system that we
Yeah,
had?
I don't know. If you're listening out there, we do apologize, but damn, what a moment.
Yeah.
What a moment. All right.
Yeah, James and Marco celebrated more than me and Alex did.
I didn't do.
I
anything.
love Messi. I'm a big.
I didn't do.
I'm a
anything.
Messi fan, dude. Let's go.
You're a Ronaldo. James does this where he hops on the bandwagon of a star.
Nope. Ronaldo's washed.
He's a little bit washed, I guess.
James is a Ronaldo fan. Marcos.
So-
Can we at least make this
Th-
resemble
this
something
Messi,
of a segment?
fandom he's doing to antagonize me because I'm not a Messi fan.
I guess.
I'm not a Ronaldo fan either.
All right, so we're here. It's the Sunday Sports Rush. It's episode number 99. Let's do a quick reset.
In our World Cup segment, was this scripted?
I don't know. Exactly.
Sports are
That's the best. That was the best tease we've ever had in our life. Dotson Lewis is on the text line. Dotson Lewis, our good friend, on the text line. He is, of course, he refereed many, many years with the UIL, and he has a take on the Jason Herring thing. Now, let's try and decipher this, all right?
Okay.
Dotson Lewis says, I worked with the UIL 20 years. Yesterday, the coaches decided how they want it done. It's done the way they want. So he's saying that the coaches, I don't know, and he's saying that the coaches have a say in the way they travel. You know, that pretty much like Jason Herring could have done a better job of preparing to travel than what he did. You know, the coaches get to pick when they leave. The coaches get to pick what hotels, you know, all that stuff, etc. So Dotson Lewis is in here. Thank you, Dotson, for getting in. 361-882-5397. We got Steven in here on the text line. Steven is reacting to the Jason Herring quote-unquote excuse after the Refugio loss. Steven says, he wasn't saying that the other times he won state in Jerry World, so I don't want to hear it now. They've been there before and won,
that's
so just
not-
play better next time.
No, that's not true. That's factually inaccurate. If you look at his press conferences and wins, he even says that, I kind of don't like playing, in Arlington. So
I'm just reading what the listener is sending us. 361-882-5397.
this is coming from Chris Thomason of KRIS.
Go for it.
And it,
KIII.
Yeah. So, look, it's a debate, right? It is what it is, and that's what happened. Another one that came in here on the text line real quickly, 361-882-5397. Brian's in here. Brian says, it's the same distance it was in the past when you won. Keep the weak excuses. Jason Herring's getting piled on here, man. I don't know. It is what it is. People didn't take kindly to what he had to say.
One more quick thing.
Did Refugio and Kingsville used to be in the district a long time ago? Oh, no, it was Santa Gertrudis. That's what it was. Yeah.
What were we going to say, Marcus?
As an athlete, as a former athlete, travel plays a huge part. When you have to be uncomfortable, when you have to ride those long bus rides, cramped together with your teammates, like those are the most fun and the worst times as an athlete because you're with your friends and you're with your buddies, but you're also cramped on a bus for hours and hours and hours on end. It's uncomfortable. You're not ready to play. Your joints and your muscles get stiff from being in the sitting position. I mean, if you've ever been on a road trip in Texas, you know.
It sucks.
But
even when we got to travel these long distances to cover the GP games.
it's horrible.
Yeah.
But and
It's
as
not
an
fun.
athlete, it's bad. It's a reason. No, it's an excuse, but it's not a reason. It's not a reason why they lost.
I'm on the complete opposite end. I get off of those 7-hour drives down from Dallas, and I'm ready to run through a brick wall. I don't know what y'all are doing.
How many energy drinks do you go through in this drive?
One.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm just built different.
Another news item of note that happened this past week, the Giants, we're talking Major League Baseball a little bit, the Giants signed Carlos Correa to a 13-year, $350 million deal. Correa will have a no-trade clause and no opt-outs in his deal.
I think this is like the biggest contract this free agency, no?
Is it? That's a good question.
I don't think it is.
It's definitely the longest. I didn't see.
Yeah.
It's
It's
the
the
longest.
longest,
It's
yeah.
the longest.
So Correa's going to be a Giant, and that's pretty cool. And, that makes the NL West pretty fun. The Dodgers fans will have even more of a reason to hate Correa now that he's playing for their rival,
Exactly, yeah.
the Giants. So I kind of like it, though. I like the move for Carlos. He could be, the face of the franchise for the Giants. And the Giants, they're not too bad of a team. They're always relatively competitive.
I love when athletes bet on themselves.
Yes.
And it pays off. I love it so much. And he did. He bet on himself. He went to the Twins for a year. He had a good season. And then he got this huge contract. He is going to be a very rich man for a very long time. So
I
good
agree.
for Carlos.
I agree. Good for Carlos. Wished things would have worked out differently with the Astros, but that is fate, and it's already been decided. And the Astros, of course, ended up with Jeremy Pena.
Yeah.
So I guess things worked out in the end for everybody involved.
And on the topic of betting on yourself, what would you call Dansby Swanson going to the Cubs?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a little bit puzzling to me because the Cubs don't seem like a team that's in contention.
They're not.
That's
not.
why I'm saying on the topic of betting on yourself, it's kind of a similar situation in a way to Correa going to the Twins.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. And if Dansby can have himself a nice little
I honestly
deal,
think that's what he was probably thinking. He was like, let me
That's
do
my
it.
guess.
He was probably like trying to copy and paste what Correa did.
I
I mean, the Cubs don't worry me. So.
7 years,
No.
7 years, $177 million for Dansby Swanson.
The way
to
I
go
look
to
at
the
it,
Cubs.
it's the Yankees and Dodgers missing out on another shortstop.
Yeah, you're right about that,
So.
Adin. You are right about that. All right, that's going to wrap up the World Cup update and the 9:20 news. Argentina's up 1-0 in the 29th minute. We'll keep you posted on that as the game and as the show continues. But coming up next after the break, we're going to talk some Dallas Cowboys week that was. Micah Parsons had some comments on Jalen Hurts' MVP candidacy, and it sparked a bit of controversy. We'll have that audio and more after the break. Keep it locked. You're listening to the Sunday Sports Rush. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush, episode number 99. James Espinosa, Adin Ducker, Marroquin and Alex Weister with you all the way till 11 a.m. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we will eulogize Mike Leach.
Yes.
We got some audio clips to play.
Rest in peace, Mike.
Some of his greatest audio clips. We will play that here for you in about 10 minutes' time when we talk the life and career of Mike Leach and also mix in some college football talk as well. Hitting the text line real quickly, 361-882-5397. We got RR on the text line. RR says, great show, fellas. Keep up the amazing work. Shout out to Brooks Kieschnick for being in Corpus Christi this past week at my brother-in-law's funeral as a pallbearer. He is a Longhorn legend and the only man to win the Dick Hauser National Award twice, which is equivalent to the Heisman Trophy in college baseball. Sorry for your loss, RR. And that is pretty awesome that Brooks Kieschnick was there as a pallbearer. And yes, Brooks Kieschnick, Corpus Christi's own, Corpus Christi Carroll Tiger, Texas Longhorn, Major League Baseball pitcher, outfielder, utility guy, played for multiple teams. That's pretty awesome right there. Thank you, RR, for getting in this morning. And our condolences go out to your family. 361-882-5397. George D is in here. George D says, good morning, all. Love your content. and a Christmas-like Sports Radio 99 epicness craziness. Thank you, George. You must have heard us go crazy whenever Messi scored his goal. I appreciate you getting in, George. 361-882-5397. Y'all guys shoot us text. We're with you all morning long. Get in here. It's your show just as much as it is ours. All right. So what we're about to do right now, give you a World Cup update, and it's Argentina 2-0.
Wow.
Argentina has just gone up 2-0. Di Maria puts it in the back of the net. We're in the 35th, and Argentina is rejoicing. France just got caught on the counterattack.
Yeah, this game's over.
Wow.
France hasn't been able to do anything. Every time they've been on attack, it's done within a couple of minutes.
I mean,
They
honestly,
haven't done anything.
we've been talking throughout the break. Argentina has just been pressing, and they've had France on the back foot all game, and that was beautiful right here. Look at this.
It was.
I mean, obviously you can't look at it if you're listening to us, but it was just a fast break. Look at the passes.
Wow.
Boom. It was pretty much a 2-on-1 right here, 2-on-2, and then Di Maria just bang. Beautiful. Argentina 2-0, and it started with Messi. Messi with the pass.
It actually started with Angel Di Maria again.
And then he finished it. So there we go. 2-0. Argentina is up.
Wow.
36th minute. All right, that's your World Cup update. We'll keep you updated as the game goes on. Right now, though, I wanted to talk some Dallas Cowboys and their week that was. So last week, the Cowboys defeated the Texans 27-23 in a comeback victory. Cowboys had to have a 11-play, 98-yard game-winning drive from Dak Prescott. Cowboys are 10-3 on the season. It's the first back-to-back 10-win seasons since 1995-1996. Think about that. The first time the Cowboys have won back-to-back double-digit win seasons since Troy Aikman and the Triplets. Just put that into perspective.
Yeah.
Okay? The Cowboys did the thing. I was a little bit concerned. I'm not going to lie. They played down to their opponent. Let's just be fair. But the Texans came, and the Texans were ready to play, and you got to give Lovie Smith and that staff credit for getting their guys up for that game.
Can I say something crazy?
Go ahead. You're the Texans fan.
That's not that crazy.
Go for it.
The Texans win that game with Brandon Cooks and Nico Collins.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
With a 6'5" receiver at the goal line, that helps.
I mean, the Cowboys have had secondary injuries as well. You know.
Yeah, and now
I mean,
Anthony Brown.
They could very easily have iced that game or scored at the
Yeah,
goal line,
but the
whatever it was
Texans
at
are
the
the
4-yard
Texans.
line.
They probably the ghosts of Bryce Young probably appeared before their very eyes late in that fourth quarter. And
So-
they saw, and they were like, yeah.
It was kind of like, I like to think that Cal McNair and Nick Caserio were up in the box, and then they called down to Lovie Smith at
What are
some
you
point during the
doing?
game and
You better
said,
throw this game or
"Hey,
you're
Lovie,
gone."
badass, you're winning, dude, but what the F are you doing, man? Come on! We're trying to go for the number
Yeah,
one pick."
completely botched the fourth down play.
You win this
that would've
game,
iced
and
the
we're
game.
canning you on the
Dude,
spot.
also,
what
Damian
happened
Pierce
was-
got hurt. The second to last play, the drive before. I think he also gets the ball into the end zone if he's healthy.
Hey,
And now
we're
he's on
gonna
the
put.
IR and his game's
We're
over.
gonna put Damian Pierce back in the game. He gets a radio call. No, don't put him back.
Exactly.
He's out for the year.
So that happened. Cowboys won. Would have liked to see them dominate the Texans more, but it's the NFL. Not everything's going to be a 40-3 blowout against the Vikings. Not everything's going to be a 33-point fourth quarter against the Colts. You're going to have to win ugly.
Yeah.
You're going to have to win grimy. And if one thing you could take away from that win, Cowboys fans, is this. They were tested, but they had the answer at the end. When they were put in a situation where they had to go 98 yards to get a game-winning drive, you saw that this team can do it. So a little glass half full right there, knowing that the Cowboys, when put in a situation like that, they can do it. They were tested. They did it. They passed the test. All right, another news item from the Cowboys this week. Tyron Smith is playing today.
Sweet.
Tyron Smith is back today.
Y'all needed him last week.
Now, there is some kind of, there's talks out there that Tyron Smith might play right tackle in the spot of the injured Terrence Steele, who is out for the season. So it could be Tyler Smith at left tackle, Connor McGovern at left guard, Tyler Biotish at center, Zach Martin at right guard, and then Tyron Smith at right tackle. So watch out for that today, Cowboys fans. I think that's what we are going to end up seeing. Because let's face facts, that rookie left tackle, Tyler Smith, has been playing his ass off, and he has been he's exceeded all expectations because everybody was crapping on that selection, but he has lived up and more.
That pulls Jason Peters out of the starting lineup then.
He'll remain swing tackle, yes.
But that's also very good knowing that you have that sort of depth because you can't deny it. Jason Peters still got some gas left in the tank. That man's still a beast.
You're right about that. We got Fred in here on the text line. Shout out to Fred, 361-882-5397. Fred says you got to give the Texans credit. I guess they thought it was a preseason game. That's why they played as good as they did. LOL.
Thank you, Fred.
I did.
That's good. That's good.
Even
Fred.
though I had the Cowboys via blowout, I did mention the possibility that because Cowboys and Texans, for some reason, the games are always close.
Yeah,
You did say that.
But I should have stuck with that. But it is what it is.
Also, I know that was satirical, Fred, but we did dominate the preseason. I just want to let you know.
Yeah. Preseason champs.
We are
Yeah.
preseason champs.
Actually, it's the Ravens who still haven't lost a preseason game.
That too. Another Cowboys
like 6 years running now.
Another Cowboys news item that happened this week. A lot of Cowboys news, guys. The Cowboys signed veteran wide receiver T.Y. Hilton. And T.Y. Hilton has practiced all week. He was signed on Monday. And according to general manager and owner Jerry Jones, T.Y. Hilton is expected to play today. Now, how much is he going to play? We don't know. Probably be on limited snaps. But T.Y. Hilton is a Dallas Cowboy, signed for $600,000 for the final 4 games of the season. Sounds pretty sweet to me.
Yeah.
And this Cowboys receiving core needs some help, guys, because right now the Cowboys receiving core ranks 17th this season in yards per reception and 20th in first downs per target. So they kind of struggle to get open a little bit. CeeDee Lamb's been doing great, no mistake about that. Gallup has, he's doing pretty good as well, but they really do need a third guy in there to kind of open it up a little bit more.
And might I also add, semi-signed Odell.
Yes, that's also another news item because Jerry Jones also came out and said that Odell Beckham is essentially close to signing with the Cowboys.
I wonder if he's called up Jordy Nelson.
I know.
He's retired.
What other receivers off the scrap heap can we get?
So was T.Y. technically. That man was
Well,
not
he
signed
was
with anybody.
he just had injuries, but he's always gonna.
Do you
sign
think
with the team.
T.Y. can help the Cowboys, Aiden?
If he's healthy, yes, but I'm just worried about his injury history.
And we know that retiring means nothing. Look at Cole Beasley. He came back.
Okay, but even then, even if T.Y. Hilton is not productive on the field, one of the biggest things you can't underestimate. You can't, as a fan, you can't just be like, "Oh, this guy's washed up. He's not the." These vets help the rooms that they're in. They help the skill groups. They help the position
very
groups.
much.
And
You're right.
Even if T.Y. Hilton never plays a snap, he will make a positive impact on that wide receiver room.
That man's all about business.
That's a great point right there, man. It's a good guy to have in the room.
Yeah.
Savvy veteran, been there, done that. Was one of the best at one point, a top 10 wide receiver, arguably in the NFL in his prime.
I'm not even going to say arguably. I'm going to say he was. The man was an animal.
I'm excited because as a third receiver in the slot, we just need you to get downfield, baby, and pull one of those safeties back to open up the middle. Like, there's so many things you could do now with this offense that you weren't able to do before. No disrespect to Noah Brown, who's been playing well in his own right, but T.Y. Hilton just has that little bit of burst factor that Noah Brown does not have.
And from the Cowboys' perspective, my only problem with this is that y'all didn't sign him last week against the Texans because T.Y. Hilton did put up 500 yards a game against the Texans.
Oh, my God.
Every single time he plays.
Well, he was a Texans killer.
Yeah, everybody's a Texans killer.
I want to play this Micah Parsons.
T.Y. Hilton in specific.
Yeah.
I want to
T.Y. Hilton's not a bad receiver. He was a Pro Bowl receiver.
Yeah, he's
four-time Pro Bowl receiver. I want to play this Micah Parsons audio real quick, Aiden, before we get to the break. It is Micah Parsons was on the Von Miller podcast. All right?
the Von cast.
The Von cast, yes. And Micah Parsons had some things to say about Jalen Hurts and his MVP candidacy, which is kind of sparked a little bit of fire as we head to Cowboys and Eagles next week on Christmas Eve. So go ahead and play the audio. Here is Micah Parsons on the Von cast.
I think it's a little bit of both, man. I think it's system and team. I think
System and
it's a little
team.
bit of both, man, because they got a great offensive line, which helps Hurts. Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. They got a good running game.
I mean, Miles Sanders.
They scheme that they have.
O-line. I mean, bro,
Hey, this Eagles Cowboys coming up, ain't it?
yeah, it's coming up. I'm not trying to make no enemies. I just love the game so much, and I understand it so much that I can't. I like when things are off. I just can't like hold it in. Like I almost gotta say something. Like
Yeah, you're right. They got a great team, great defense.
but everyone has their own opinions. Like
But they got Jalen Hurts is
He's good. He's good.
They got him for the MVP race with Patrick Mahomes.
And there we go. That kind of caused a little bit of controversy because Micah Parsons at the beginning says it's system and it's team is the reason why Jalen Hurts is as successful as he's been this year. And even the Eagles had some clap back, Aiden. Jordan Mailata, Eagles offensive lineman, had a little bit of a clap back at Micah Parsons. Here it is. Go ahead and play it, Aiden.
He said on the podcast yesterday that he thinks it's maybe more system or team than Jalen personally being MVP. Do you have any reaction to that?
Yeah, I'm worried about the Chicago Bears this week, man. Worried about this game. Michael should worry about his game this week too. So even if they have a game, I don't know who the they're playing, but part of my language. I mean, just worry about who you got this week. You know? That's how we do it here. Not gonna worry about any other comments anybody said. That's just how we focus and run about our business. You got the Chicago Bears, not the Chicago Mike Parsons. So that's how I go about it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I want the Cowboys and Eagles to hate each other. I want this extra juice on Christmas Eve. I love this. As a fan, I am literally just shaking right now because I love
That's a really
this.
professional answer from Thingamabob from The Masked Singer.
Yeah.
True.
Jordan Mailata.
I haven't seen the Masked Singer to get the reference.
Loved his accent.
Mailata, man, he is so cool.
Is he New Zealand? Australian?
I think he's Australian.
I'm not sure, but we're not playing the Chicago Micah Parsons.
Him on that Eagles Christmas album, man, he can sing.
Really?
He actually can. Yeah, he's a great singer.
So
Really good.
before we wrap up the segment, is this much to do about nothing, or is this just some
I
fun
think
little
it's
fun little banter
It's just
before the
banter.
game?
It's nothing, but I feel like Micah Parsons is echoing a lot of Cowboys fans by they're afraid to admit that Jalen Hurts is actually a good quarterback
He's
now.
a great quarterback.
I'm not afraid to admit that.
But you know how Cowboys fans are. I see them all over Twitter. They like, oh, Jalen Hurts runs too much. Who cares how he gets his yards or points?
as an unbiased professional broadcaster, I am not afraid to admit that Jalen Hurts is a very good quarterback.
It's
Like
just
right now,
division
he's number one MVP chart, right?
Yeah.
Odds past week.
It's him and Patrick Mahomes, top two. Odds-on favorites to win the MVP. So there we go. That was just some fun stuff right there. It's just a little bit of extra juice as we head towards Cowboys and Eagles. Last word, Marcos.
Also, Von Miller was having a great season. Shout out to him. He had like 8 sacks on the
He
year
was,
before he
and then
got hurt.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Hey,
So-
but shout out to Vaughn.
Rest easy, Von.
So there we go. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up the segment. Coming up next, we'll talk a little bit of college football. We'll get to your text on the text line, and we remember the life of the Pirate, Mike Leach, after the break. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush News Talk KEYS, episode number 99. The whole crew is with you this morning. James Espinosa, Adin Ducker, Marroquin and Alex Weister. Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll have some NFL headlines. There was 3 NFL games yesterday. Lot of implications. Tons of things to discuss. It is the biggest comeback in NFL history. We'll talk about all that
My
and more
goodness, man.
in the next segment when we dive into NFL headlines. Hitting the text line real quickly, we're getting some reaction from the Jason Herring excuse that he made post-game of his Refugio team's loss in the state championship game to Holly. Javi is in here. 361-882-5397. Javi says, this is a poor excuse of how Herring handled it. I get the drive is long and stuff, but that's how this is set up for the classifications from 1A and 6A. You're more than this, Herring. Wow.
Yeah.
Telling you, people in here are not liking the words that were chosen by Jason Herring. Just kind of taking it in the shorts here a little bit.
And I kind of get this feeling around the Coastal Bend, like you want to be proud of the teams that rep the area, right?
Yeah.
And how successful Refugio is, but I feel like there's a little bit of animosity around the area.
You think they're
towards
kind
him.
of like
like
a lot of people wait on their downfall?
I feel like
is
there's
that what you're
some-
getting a sense of, that some people do enjoy seeing
and there's
him
a lot.
lose?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that hold grudges here. Like it's just natural for people around
Yeah.
this area, and I feel like there's a lot there's a lot of heat on Refugio. I'm not one of those people.
I'm not
love
one either. I
Refugio.
wanted them to win.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been actively rooting for them all season.
Instead of going out and saying, oh, the team lost because of travel and whatnot, I think the focus needs to shift to the UIL for solely going after the money, because it's very obvious. The cost to go to the games is extremely expensive. Parking, I think I saw, was $25.
Yeah.
They're only going to one venue, which is the biggest venue in the state of Texas.
One of the best venues in all of the nation.
I think it's not a problem of travel. I think it's more of a problem of greed, which I think we need to go after a little bit more, because I don't want this to turn into a college football situation where it seems like the players are being taken advantage of, and that could go down a really bad road.
That's a good point right there, Alex. Good point right there. And I would like to see them rotate, honestly.
Yes.
Maybe every couple of years. 2 years in Dallas, 2 years in Houston, 2 years in San Antonio. Or maybe 3 years. 3 years in Dallas, 3 years, just something. Get some kind of rotation going. So that way it is a little bit fair to the other teams who are not up in the Dallas area or close to the Dallas area, and kind of flip the script a little bit.
I saw a tweet that matched up Dave Campbell's Texas High School Football, which Alex works for. Little plug. But I saw a tweet that's saying that AT&T Stadium is actually the most centralized location there is for all the teams that
due
make
to
it
the
into
teams
state.
that are making it to state, which is a lot of Dallas teams.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, but there's teams in the Panhandle as well, up north.
Yeah, so I mean, look, it's an argument, but personally, I would like to see it rotated. And I think to Alex's point, I hope that it doesn't go to the hands of the greedy, and we start seeing, this being more about money, et cetera, than it is about the kids and the competition on the field.
And another thing, if you have 3 different stadiums, you can do it where you would play all the games on 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
You don't have to spread it out like this. While it's nice for all teams to get coverage, it also makes it to where you have everybody getting a shot on one day, and it makes it a better schedule.
Yes. All righty. Well, there's that. And thanks for getting in on the text line, Javi. R.I.P. Mike Leach. Dead at 61 years old. Complications related to a heart condition. It's sad that the Pirate is gone.
Yeah, man.
He was coaching, of course, with Mississippi State, previously coached with Texas Tech and Washington State, a 2-time National Coach of the Year, 2008 with Texas Tech, 2018 with Washington State. Of course, he's known for those prolific air raid offenses. Leach was 158 and 107 in his 21 years coaching. Known for his quirky personality, dry wits, and his penchant for talking about history, business, and politics, and just about anything else. R.I.P. Mike Leach. I wanted to play an audio clip, Adin. Let's go with Mike Leach talking about Bigfoot and aliens. And this is just some of the fun things that Mike Leach was known for. Here is the late, great Mike Leach.
All right, let me see here.
It's there.
There's Mike Leach on the weather, Mike Leach on his obituary, Mike Leach on Halloween candy.
Do Halloween candy then.
Oh.
That's fine. That works.
Yeah. Okay, give me just a second.
We talked about on the broadcast how you hate candy corn. What's your favorite Halloween
Candy corn. I mean, I completely hate candy corn. When I was a kid, gummy bears, let's see. Gummy bears for sure.
Sour or regular?
The Haribo. It's got to be the Haribo ones. And then the other thing I like is when they used to have the sprees in a box. Outstanding. You have to go to the dollar store to find it, but I do. And then the latest, there's still candy innovation, although a while back I found that Europe had better candy than we did overall because they have gummy everything. And then, they have those Nerds clusters, which is new.
The gummy.
Very good, by the way.
It's good. The Nerds clusters is good. And then if you go chocolate, probably Almond Joy.
Love it. Hopefully you'll get some of that next week.
Yeah, we'll see.
Man, it's just
Okay.
hearing the audio is just
And I got
just makes
to
you
admit
sad,
it 'cause-
man.
And I got to admit it because this was last year. We pre-recorded this Halloween show, I believe.
Yeah, this was from that show.
And I love candy corn. I was so like salty about his comments that I went back to how I was making comments about how mid some of his teams are, just to hate on him and whatnot. I'm cleansing myself. I admit it.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're cleansed when you were kicking a guy when he's
No. He wasn't down before, but I gotta say though, the air raid offense, a lot of teams implemented his schemes and his whatnot. So he has to take credit for how he's revolutionized the world of college football. Remember, it used to be like a slugfest.
Yeah, it used to be just run the ball and 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Some of the Big Ten still use that slugfest thing, but for the good teams at least.
So in addition to Coach Leach's coaching tree, right? You have the likes of Cliff Kingsbury. You got Tennessee's Josh Heupel. You got USC's Lincoln Riley, TCU's Sonny Dykes, and Houston's Dana Holgorsen, just to name a few. I mean, he was even on. He was even in at Oklahoma for a little while with Bob Stoops. Coached and taught with Bob Stoops, and you're saying Shanahan, and yeah, man. I mean, look, it's sad what happened. It was shocking what happened when the news broke last week.
Yeah, it really was.
And then things just kind of turned really dire in about 24 hours.
Yeah, initially kind of flew under the radar. It sounded like he was just getting checked out for he had an incident that he was
alleged heart attack.
But I guess his condition got worse, man. It's just sad, man.
We have, real quickly before we hit the break, let's play the Mike Leach on his obituary. This was they did like a piece on him, ESPN did a couple of years back, and here's Mike Leach talking about what people will say about him when he does die. Kind of I don't know. It's kind of weird, but here it is.
When people write the Mike Leach obituary, how do you want to be remembered?
Well, that's their problem. They're the one writing the obituary. I mean, what do I care? I'm dead.
All right.
A lot of older people say.
I mean, that is crazy.
We love you, Mike.
Yeah.
We love you, Mike.
That's tough.
A lot of older people have that same mentality. It's like, what do I care?
Yeah.
Mike, I'm probably one of those people.
Mike
eventually.
Leach, gone at the age of 61, and I think, honestly, gone too soon, man.
Yeah, that's
still relatively young in today's modern medicine world, and it sucks that, one of the most prolific minds, not only for football, but just anything.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Is gone. And R.I.P. to Mike Leach.
You made the world better, Mike.
Yes, sir.
We miss you.
Yeah, so there we go. That's going to wrap up hour number 1 of the Sunday Sports Rush. We still got one more hour left with you. When we come back, we'll give you a World Cup update, and we will hit the NFL headlines. So make sure you get in, 361-882-5397. Hit us up on the text line. You're listening to the Sunday Sports Rush on News Talk KEYS 1440 AM and 98.7 FM, Corpus Christi. Good morning, Corpus Christi, Coastal Bend, and listeners worldwide. Welcome in to hour number 2 of the Sunday Sports Rush. It's episode number 99, right here on News Talk KEYS 1440 AM and 98.7 FM. James Espinosa, Adin Ducker with you.
I love Cougars.
There it is.
Marroquin is in the house.
What's up, James?
And Alex Weister is with us on winter break from UNT. So it's good to have the whole squad here this morning. 361-882-5397. That is the number to get your text in onto the text line. Appreciate you boys out there for getting in this morning. Thank you guys for hitting us up. You still got an hour left to interact with us, so make sure you do that. 361-882-5397.
Yep, quick shout out UNT. We lost our bowl game.
Yeah.
Quick shout out Seth Luttrell for being the most mid coach in college football.
Yeah, y'all guys are going through a little bit of a change. Yeah. And y'all hired.
Our AD saw the writing on the wall and he dipped.
And UNT ended up hiring Eric Morris.
Yes.
Former UIW head coach, former offensive coordinator of Washington State. So that's a good little thing for UNT right there. Hopefully he can turn that program around. I mean, y'all guys did make the conference title game.
Some people,
continue, Alex.
Yeah, some people were saying we made our bowl game. He had a good season. Why did we fire Luttrell? We're going to a new conference. We've been middle of the road in the CUSA for so long. We might as well just start fresh when we get to the new conference.
And yeah, American Athletic Conference coming up for you guys, and UTSA and several other CUSA holdovers. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, awesome job right there.
No, I was gonna say, speaking of UIW, they got absolutely hosed against North Dakota State.
Yeah,
God, that was some bad reffing.
They they should have won that game, but North Dakota State is what they are, and they're going back to the FCS championship game.
If y'all look it up, clear as day a fumble, and for some reason they said that the North Dakota State player was down.
Speaking of during the break, talking about hating on greatness, I'm surprised that's one team that Adin hasn't hated on yet, North Dakota State.
Oh, I don't really care about
FCS football,
even though they literally run it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care. They probably should be honestly should be a Division I school.
I mean, yeah, if you're that dominant,
yeah,
you should probably be forced to move up
Yeah.
at that point.
But they're doing their thing, and shout out to them, I guess. But let's get to the text line real quick. I have a tweet that came in from @3A South Texas fan. So shout out to you for listening. He has a Cowboys take. He says the Cowboys need to win today, and Eagles need to lose against the Bears, and it will make Saturday's game versus the Eagles the battle for the #1 seed in the NFC.
Is that true?
Yes.
Because the Eagles.
No. Yes. If the Eagles lose today and the Cowboys win, that will be the battle for the #1 seed. It'll be the battle for the division and the #1 seed.
That's a lot to ask.
Yeah.
But the Bears have to beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
So I mean,
very tough task.
Yeah. And he says that he still has tickets to the game, or he's still waiting to see if he's going to watch it on TV or get tickets to the game, depending on what happens. So, all right, well, that's pretty cool right there. Appreciate you getting in.
If the Eagles lose, you better hop on those tickets quick, because them things are going to skyrocket.
So let's talk some NFL here with NFL headlines. Let's go ahead and dive right into that, because we did have some games yesterday. 3 games, matter of fact. We actually get to recap NFL games. This is pretty cool this morning.
Oh, yeah, very cool.
Last night's Vikings 39, Colts 36 in overtime. But this one right here was absolutely bonkers, because the Vikings were losing 33-0 at halftime. And they come back and they win the damn game. The greatest comeback in NFL history. Literally.
Might I add, if you think 33-0 going into halftime is still a lot of time to play football, it was still 33-14 going into the fourth quarter.
Yes, the Vikings put up 22 points in the fourth quarter. Epic comeback. The Vikings are now 11-3, and they're still in contention for the #1 seed.
Yes. I still say to this day, anytime there's a comeback, it's usually incompetency by the leading team.
Well,
you could tell the Colts got very complacent.
Yeah.
Jeff Saturday, I mean, he's not going to be the guy in the future. There should have been a
nobody
good.
really thought
I
he
mean,
would be.
All the memes were coming out. It's Jeff Saturday coaching on a Saturday. Like it was the
scene was on the wall,
the
man.
stars aligned.
The stars aligned, and the stupid mid Vikings.
He's angered the football gods. They will not look down on him favorably.
So, biggest comeback in NFL history. Marcos, what are your thoughts on that?
It's embarrassing. Truthfully, I don't know how he still has a job. Like, for real. Like, I don't know how he has a job. And then they had that 33 points to the Cowboys, right, in the fourth quarter?
Yes.
How do you
oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
That's what I'm saying. They had 2 of the most embarrassing losses of all time.
That's wild.
I mean,
you're right.
Like, truthfully, like, in the same season, not that far apart, they have had some of the worst losses of all time. They haven't been competitive since Jeff Saturday. They haven't won a game since his first game, which was probably just like a hoorah, let's go
when they
win.
beat the Raiders.
Yes, the worst team in the NFL.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Aiden.
but like very rarely a comeback is because the team coming back play absolutely lights out.
Yeah.
There's always incompetency involved from the other side, and there's multiple opportunities for the Colts to put that game away, and they didn't.
So what does this say about the Vikings, man? Should the Vikings be taken seriously when it comes to playoff time? I mean,
they're not going to get away with that in the playoffs.
Are they in the trust circle right now? Do you trust the Vikings?
I think the
I'm
Vikings
on the outside looking in.
I think the Vikings are better coached
Yes.
than they were in the past, which is going to help them get into the playoffs. But I look at the Eagles and Niners, and I see them as the 2 teams.
Especially the Niners.
Go ahead, Marco.
Even the Cowboys are better than the Vikings. We've seen that already.
I mean, the Cowboys spanked them 40-3.
I think the Vikings are probably the 4th best team that's in the NFC right now.
Go ahead, Marcos, and then we'll move on to the next
I'm going to
game.
quote something that you say literally every time you try to make an excuse for the Cowboys having a bad win. Yeah, don't apologize for winning.
I mean,
Okay.
it's good for them.
Yeah, good. I like it. You're learning. Yes, you never apologize for winning, and the Vikings shouldn't
A
apologize.
competent head coach wins that game, though, up 33-0.
Moving on to the next game, which was absolutely boring, to be honest with you. I didn't really watch this one a lot.
I didn't watch it either. I was in work.
Browns 13, Ravens 3. Browns win. They're 6-8. Ravens fall to 9-5. They are without Lamar Jackson, and it is definitely hurting them.
He should be back next week.
I want
Hopefully.
Greg Roman gone. Please.
I think
Jim Harbaugh needs to let Greg Roman go. Remember the last time the
Jim?
John Harbaugh. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, you know how fiery I get. You remember the last time the Ravens won a Super Bowl? John Harbaugh fired Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Jim Caldwell took over, and the offense was lights out from then on out. A change needs to be made. He needs to set a precedent. Wake this damn team up. Fire Greg Roman. Put him on the stands.
I'm in a lot of Ravens circles. Of course, the majority of my friends that I've made are from Maryland because that's where I finished high school. And so the vibe around there is they 100% want Greg Roman gone. That's, of course, the sentiment that is echoing from Adin. But they also want Harbaugh gone.
Interesting.
They want both of them gone.
Fresh start, so to speak.
I can understand Greg Roman, but Harbaugh, I'm not 100% sure on that.
There's been times where he's completely coached away a game. But at the same time, though, like, he's a solid leader, man.
Yeah.
He's a solid, and special teams have always been good under him. And
I don't think I would pull the plug on Harbaugh.
I'm pulling the plug on Greg Roman.
Yeah,
though.
maybe the OC first, and then if things persist into next season, then I think you really gotta ask that hard question.
Yeah, I want Greg Roman gone.
So who did well for the Browns last night? I guess Deshaun Watson?
No, not really.
18 of 28, 161 yards and a touchdown.
Chubb and Hunt did good.
Yeah.
It was a mid-off.
It pretty much was a mid-off. So moving on to the nightcap, which was a pretty fun and entertaining game. The Bills moved to 11-3. They defeat the Dolphins 32-29, and the Dolphins are now 8-6 on the season. The Dolphins have lost back-to-back games. So Josh Allen went off last night, 4 touchdown passes, 304 yards passing. Raheem Mostert had a really good game for Miami.
I benched him.
136 yards and 17 carries. And then Jalen Waddle went off with 3 receptions, 114 yards, and 1 touchdown. But the Bills do it in the snowy conditions up in Buffalo, and that's a big win for the Bills.
Yeah, and I'll say Tua played better than I thought he would, but when the snow started coming down, the Dolphins they couldn't score again from that point.
There's something about a team that wears teal and orange playing in the snow that's just never going to work.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just not an intimidating. It just doesn't look like you can play in the snow.
I mean, when it wasn't snowing,
with those weak colors,
especially in the third quarter when the snow stopped, like the Dolphins' offense started going. He had that long touchdown to Waddle, and then Tyreek had another touchdown pass. But
one thing I'm surprised they only touched on like once in the broadcast was the temperature difference between the first and second contest between the two teams. Oh, because the first one in Miami was like 100 degrees, and this one was 20.
Crazy. Tyler Bass had a game-winning 25-yard field goal as time expired to put the Bills up 32-29. The Bills clinched their 4th straight playoff berth, and the Dolphins, meanwhile,
the Dolphins need to watch out.
I'm looking at. Let me pull up the standings here real quick, just to kind of give us a glimpse of what's going on. So in the AFC, the Dolphins are still in it. They're still hanging around here a little bit. They're the 6th seed.
That's a dangerous 6th seed, though.
I think the Bills
have... It is.
I think the Bills have gotten that division. I think they've now... I mean, it's not official, but I think that was a huge win for the Bills to get control of it.
So that happened yesterday. That was all the NFL action that happened yesterday. A couple of more little news items here. Mike White is not playing today. He's out. Zach Wilson will start for the Jets.
Hey,
against who?
One thing about
Lions.
Mike White.
Lions.
Mike White is a dog.
Yeah, he is.
Dude, he took like an NFL blitz-style hit to his ribs. Like, it wasn't even a joke the way he got tackled.
He got speared into the ground, broke his
literal
ribs.
NFL blitz.
And then he tried to go back out on the field.
Kyler Murray has a torn ACL. He's out for the year.
Yeah.
Cole Beasley is back. He ends his retirement. He's with the Bills now. Some other news items. Good news for Deebo Samuel. He did not tear anything. It was just an ankle sprain. He is going to return this season. Last week, we all thought his season ended.
That one looked ugly.
It looked really
that one looked
bad.
ugly.
Yeah, it's bad news for Alex.
So those are just
rubbing salt in the wound.
some NFL
I'm so
headlines
mad about
right
that
there.
trade early with the Rondell Moore. He gets injured.
Yeah, well, karma's biting me now, ain't it?
So there we go. That's going to wrap up NFL headlines real quickly before we hit the break. A World Cup update. 53 minutes into the match. It is Argentina 2, France 0. Argentina took a 2-0 lead into halftime. We're about 8-9 minutes into the second half right here, and it is still 2-0 Argentina. France needs 2 goals to tie to send this one to extra time. Surely a third goal from Argentina would be the definite nail in the coffin, but 2-0 is a dangerous lead.
Yeah,
you gotta be careful here if you're Argentina.
Which Argentina we're gonna see, the one against the Dutch or the one against Croatia?
Yeah, and you know what? France is a great team, man. They could pull one out of there. You know what? Real quickly.
I think this is where they miss Benzema a lot.
Yeah,
I feel like Benzema's the goal scorer that France needs to stretch out the D a little bit.
So, excuse me.
Never mind.
Okay.
That was not intentional.
That's going to wrap up NFL headlines. All right, there we go. Argentina 2, France 0.
That was not intentional.
We're going to hit the commercial break. We're going to try and regain our composure. And when we come back, we'll preview Jaguars and Cowboys. Who wins today? Jags and Cowboys. Hit us up on the text line, 361-882-5397. We're talking Cowboys versus Jaguars after the break. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush, episode number 99. James Espinosa, Adin Ducker, Marroquin and Alex Weister with you all the way till 11 a.m. today. Don't forget, it is Cowboys game day. We will have the pregame show as soon as the Sports Rush is over at 11 o'clock, and then Cowboys and Jaguars kick off at noon right here on News Talk KEYS, so keep it locked all afternoon to Keys. Fred's in here on the text line once again, 361-882-5397. Fred says, do you think Jerry Jones is just saying this about Odell Beckham to keep Jerry Jones in the news?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either, Fred. I think there really is some legitimate smoke to this fire of Odell Beckham and the Cowboys. And I think Jerry Jones is just, honestly think Jerry Jones is being quite frank with everybody and saying that they're very close. I mean, there's been talks, there's been rumors. I think it's going to happen. I don't think Jerry Jones is just saying it to say it.
The Cowboys saw something that physical that
scared him off.
Drew up red flags, yeah.
Yeah.
OBJ doesn't want to sign just for the season. Or just for he wants to sign a multi-year deal.
So we'll see what transpires from that, Fred. But I don't think Jerry Jones is talking just to talk. I think he's actually sending out some smoke signals here. So, all righty, let's go ahead and let's talk Cowboys and Jaguars because that is the game today for our Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys 10-3, Jaguars 5-8. This one is in Jacksonville. Fun fact: the Cowboys have never won a football game in Jacksonville. 0-1 all time when they visit the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Cowboys come into this game second in the NFL with sacks, 48 on the defense. First in offensive red zone scoring efficiency with a 95.2% success rate. Third in points per game with 27.7. And +8 in the turnover differential, which is third in the NFL. So the Cowboys looking mighty good here when it comes to that. The one thing that does scare me today, gentlemen, about the Jaguars is the resurgence of young Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, since week 9, over 1,300 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, no interceptions, completing 71.8% of his passes, and has a 111.7 passer rating, which is second in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence is balling his ass off right now, and with the Cowboys and some of their injuries in the secondary, this could be a game where the Cowboys cannot sleep on the Jaguars because it could bite them. This one is on the road. Jacksonville has a little rowdy, fan base. But Trevor Lawrence has been playing very well, and he concerns me if I am a Cowboys fan out there. 361-882-5397.
Yeah, he's been elite, and you can't sleep on this Jags team. It seems like they've won games this year every once in a while. Nothing crazy. They don't have a great record where no one in the world expects them to win the game, especially in the ways that they do it.
Yeah.
They've been a surprising team. People expected them to be better, and they have been better. But they have shown flashes of greatness, and Trevor Lawrence has been one of the biggest contributors of that. He's been elite at times this year.
He has.
And you can't sleep on them if you're a Cowboys fan.
And he's another one of those quarterbacks that's showing, even if you struggle in your first year, you got to give him some time. Getting thrust into the starting lineup like that and being asked to perform as a rookie is no easy task, especially with how bad of a team that the Jaguars have had in recent years. I mean, look at Josh Allen. When he came in, he was bad, and now look at him. He's lighting it up. He's MVP candidate.
And let's be real. Like, Trevor Lawrence did not have a competent head coach his rookie season.
No, you're right.
See, credit to Doug Peterson.
With Urban Meyer, that's
the worst coach in NFL history, and Doug Peterson's an actual competent head coach.
And now I'm so glad you brought up Doug Peterson, because guy who's been there, done that, guy who's won a Super Bowl,
QB whisperer.
Guy, yeah, exactly, QB whisperer, guy who knows how to cultivate offensive success. And looking at the Jaguars' stats, the Jaguars are 11th in total offense, 15th in rushing offense, and 10 in passing offense. So that's a top half of the league offense you're looking at. You know what I mean? They can put up numbers on you. They do have weapons like Christian Kirk. They do have an Evan Ingram at tight end who has come on strong lately. Zay Jones as well. You cannot forget about the running back Travis Etienne, who can, hit one on you.
He can.
He
but
can.
He hasn't in recent weeks.
Hasn't been as consistent as people would like, but he is a threat in the backfield. Yes. And they also have a defense who's not that bad.
Yeah, they have some pieces on defense. I've noticed the emergence of Zay Jones as another receiving threat. I had him on my fantasy. I've seen the difference. And also, this is in Jacksonville. The Jaguars are 4-3 at home.
Yeah, tough place to play.
And one thing that we haven't seen all season from the Jags and Travis Etienne, and something that some people are speculating is going to happen, is what was his biggest trait coming out of Clemson? He was a receiving.
Yes, pass catcher out of the backfield.
We haven't seen that at all. Is he going to be able to get it done solely on the ground against the Cowboys? I don't think so. I think they're going to have to get the ball out quick. They're going to have to do dump-off passes to Etienne and let him shine like he was able to in college at Clemson.
So the Cowboys come into this game with a 5th overall ranked defense, 23rd in rushing, though. That's still the Cowboys' Achilles heel on the defense, is the fact that they do give up big games on the rush. They're not as consistent stopping the rush as one might hope they would be. So they're 23rd in rushing defense. The Jaguars can take advantage of that. They are, though, 2nd in passing defense, so they're really good at stopping the pass in that regard, and that's going to be the battle right there.
The other thing is, looking at the Cowboys matching up against this Jags defense, there's a possibility for the Cowboys to put up points quick. And the issue with the Jags is, are they going to be able to strike back quick against the Cowboys' passing defense? I don't think so.
The Cowboys are starting to get a little bit leaky on the pass defense. Especially with those injuries wrapping up without Jordan Lewis.
Lewis is out.
And I know Anthony Brown was hit or miss before his injury, but
But he was still a guy.
He was still there,
Yeah, he was still a guy who was contributing.
Kelvin Joseph and Bland need to step up and be,
And then
Trayvon Diggs, I'll give him credit. He's been holding his own for most of the season.
Trayvon Diggs has been as advertised. He's one of the best in the league, and I think that's fair to say. So we'll see what happens today with that.
But that pass rush needs to get for the Cowboys. I noticed this Cowboys defense.
Good point.
It's been riding on the pass rush this year.
You know how many sacks the Cowboys had last week against the Texans? A big fat 0. No pass rush last week. They're going to need to get home against Trevor Lawrence, or he could feast on them.
Yeah. Driscoll, I know the Texans were using like a 2 QB offense, but they were comfortable out there.
A player that you should watch out for if you're the Cowboys offense on the Jaguars defense is a linebacker. This is going to be a hard name to pronounce. Foyesade
Oluokun.
Yes,
Alex
Oluokun.
Alex knows all well, how good he was with the Falcons.
So Foyesade Oluokun in his past 3 games has 47 tackles.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. This guy's a tackling machine in the middle. Gonna have to watch out for that guy. He can definitely, cause some havoc.
Yeah.
We're talking about Cowboys Jaguars right now. If you have any takes, get them in on the text line. Who wins the game? 361-882-5397. They got to protect Trevor Lawrence. He's been sacked 23 times this season. That is not good. He's been hit 26 times overall. So we're talking about the Cowboys pass rush. Got to get home.
And once again,
if you're the Cowboys,
the Jags are not going to be able to set up those deep plays. Their offensive line's not going to be able to hold up long enough for that.
Is this
to go short?
The Cowboys lose this game if what happens? Alex.
Etienne gets back to his form and is able to break off long runs.
Adin.
The Cowboys have started off really poor in these noon games this year.
Yes, very slow, sluggish starts at noon. They are not a noon team, to say the least. Marcos, how do you feel about the game?
I think the biggest thing is, like you said, Alex, if the Jags can get some sort of offense going in the short game, if the run game have a little combination of that, and then if they could put a little bit of pressure on Dak Prescott, he's made this year. He hasn't been as consistent as you like from him when under pressure.
I am so glad you brought up the Dak factor because, guys, 9 interceptions since he's returned, 2 last week.
Yep.
I mean, I know some of them were tipped. I know one of them he got his arm hit, but Dak Prescott has been living a lot more dangerously lately and not being as secure with the ball. And I don't want to hear it from Cowboys fans saying, oh, it's all right, though. It's not all right because that's going to bite you in the ass in the playoffs if that happens.
Okay.
You can't make turnovers like that. You cannot do that.
Are y'all ready to pick?
Let's go ahead.
I have one more point.
We could pick it in the next segment.
All right.
I think the number one thing the Cowboys have to do, and I know this is going to be a little weird sounding, win the coin toss.
Really?
They need to find a way to get the ball first. Because if the Jags are able to work that short game and get it going on the ground and chew up a lot of clock in the first quarter and score, I think it's going to cause some issues. If the Cowboys get the ball, go down, score quick, and put the Jags on their heels, I think they're in good position to win the game.
There we go. That's going to be the final word on that segment. Well said, Alex. And coming up next, we'll make our NFL picks for week number 15 here in the NFL season. We will make our picks. We have a new leader on top of the picks leaderboard. I will disclose that after the break, so keep it locked. We're picking games. We're making our Cowboys predictions. Hit us up on the text line, 361-882-5397. Who wins today's game? Cowboys, Jaguars. How do they win it? Let us know. Hit us up. All right, guys. Heading to the break. Keep it locked. You're listening to the Sunday Sports Rush. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush News Talk KEYS, episode number 99. 30 minutes left with you this morning, going all the way till 11 a.m., leading into Cowboys pregame, followed by Cowboys and Jags kicking off at 12 noon right here on KEYS, News Talk KEYS, 1440 a.m. and 98.7 FM. Whole squad with you this morning, James Espinosa, Adin Ducker, Marroquin and Alex Weister in the house. And we are getting ready to do some NFL pick'em. But before we get there, we have the Cowboys inactives to go over.
Yes.
It was just dropped right now. T.Y. Hilton will not make his debut today versus the Jaguars.
My guess is a healthy scratch.
Yeah, he's inactive. He signed on Monday, so Jerry Jones did have an interview say he was hoping for him to play, but I guess he's not. Other Cowboys inactives include tight end Jake Ferguson with a concussion, Jalen Tolbert, cornerback Trayvon Mullen, linebacker Jabril Cox, and their third-string quarterback Will Grier. Those guys are inactive. So there we go. That's going to that's the Cowboys inactives right there.
Trevor Lawrence is active for the Jags. Trayvon Walker is inactive.
Oh,
that's huge.
That's a big defensive.
That's huge.
Damn, that one is huge. That's a huge one right there. So let's go ahead, guys. We're going to do our NFL pick'em. And if you have some Cowboys takes, get them in here. Who's going to win the game, Cowboys or Jaguars? 361-882-5397. Let us know who wins today's contest. All right, some NFL pick'em. As my computer is loading because everything died on me. Here we go. I got the screen out right in front of me. We have a new leader on top of the leaderboard for NFL pick'em. And that leader, guys, is Alex Weister.
I got to make up for my horrendous fantasy season somehow.
Weister went 7-2 last week. Nailed your upset pick.
I've been on a roll with my upsets unlike last year.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
There you go. And then, Alex, you have 59 wins.
Wow.
Did
I already beat my last year total?
I think so. I would have to go back and look, but you have 59 wins.
I'm on a roll.
Aiden has 58 wins. Aiden went 4-3 last week. I'm in third place, essentially last, with 57 wins, and I went 3-4 last week. And Marcos went 4-3. You're 36 wins, 36-31.
Well, I mean, we're all close. It's
Keep it
it's
over
like
500.
Yeah, so you're doing great.
If any of us have a good week, it pretty much will put us decently in the lead.
I haven't hit like any of my upsets. Like, I don't think I've hit one this
The
entire
upsets
year.
are key.
It's not easy.
Those are key because those can definitely be a big swing. So the first game we're going to pick today is going down at 12 noon.
Oh, boy.
It is the Falcons at the Saints. So Falcons are 5-8. Saints are 4-9. The Saints are actually 4.5-point favorites. And the thing about this game, Desmond Ridder is going to start at quarterback for the Falcons, making his NFL debut. And also, what's weird about this game is both of these teams still have a slight chance at winning the putrid NFC South.
Just stop, man.
I'm so mad about what the Saints did.
Okay, drop it.
So,
Drop it.
Alex, resident Saints fan, you make the first pick. Falcons, Saints.
With the recent talks about Kamara getting more work, I expect Taysom Hill to have a bigger workload. He's typically good against the Falcons. He played good week 1. I don't know how Desmond Ridder's going to do. That I can't give any notes on. We haven't seen him at all. I think I'm going to play this one safe. Despite Marshawn Lattimore being out, I'm going to take the Saints.
All righty, well said right there from Alex. He's going Saints. Let's go with Marcos. Who do you got?
I've liked this Falcons team all year. I love their run scheme and their run blocking, and they have a good offensive line for that, but give me the Saints.
Oh, okay. You swerved at the end. I thought you were going to go Falcons. What about you, Adin?
Oh, man. I don't trust it. Every time I feel like I'm going to pick the Falcons, they lose. So give me the Saints.
The Falcons are one of the most least trustworthy teams
Also,
ever.
every time you feel like the Saints are going to win, they lose.
That's right.
You can't win here.
Okay.
I can't say they can tie.
Can I officially label this one as mid-off of the day?
Yes.
Oh yeah, easily.
I don't know, man. There's other mid-offs.
They're actually below. They're actually the below mid-off.
Steelers Panthers.
That's also a
Hey,
mid-off.
but the Panthers might be a playoff team.
So with that being said, y'all guys all went Saints.
Give me the Saints.
I'm gonna go Saints as well. I'm not too sure about the rookie quarterback getting that one.
I looked further. I found a better mid-off. Cardinals Broncos.
That one is pretty mid. Another game.
That's
a stinker.
That's a S off.
So whoa, okay.
Yeah.
So here we go. Picking our next game up. It's the 6-7 Lions at the 7-6 Jets. Mike White is out at quarterback for the Jets. They will be starting once again Zach Wilson. The Lions, though, the freaking Lions, guys, have won 5 out of their last 6 games, and they're on a 2-game winning streak. Who wins this one? Oh, by the way, Jets are a 1-point favorite. Marcos, go ahead.
Give me the Lions as my upset.
Of course.
Okay, Lions as the upset. I like that one right there. Who else?
James just gave that to Marcos because he knew I was going to take it.
Bro, he hasn't given me any of those all year long.
I have to throw Marcos a bone. Go ahead, Alex.
Even if the Lions were favorited, I wasn't going to take the Jets as my upset. I am riding with the Lions. As Pat McAfee likes to say, MCDC. I am riding with this hype train. I said in the beginning of the season, I love this team.
We have been.
Yes.
We have been big Lions guys here.
Yes.
We're big Dan Campbell fans here at this show.
Jared Goff has played respectively.
And he's young. He's still young.
And look, this is the thing about Jared Goff. A lot of people already wanted to write the obituary on his career. I mean, Jared Goff is capable when he's surrounded by some talent and he has a nice line to work with.
And can we talk about Aiden Hutchinson? Nobody's talked about him all
He's a beast.
season.
He's been a beast.
The man's an animal.
He is.
Do you know why? It's because the Lions' defense has been so bad.
Well, the Lions did make a coaching change there, and I think the Lions
did change
have
their
played,
defensive coordinator.
The Lions have played a little bit better.
Yes, since that change, they've actually been a very, very respectable defense.
Who do you got, Aiden?
Oh, give me the Lions.
Lions.
I don't think this Jets team has confidence to play well with Zach Wilson.
I'm going to play it safe right here also because I do think the Lions are just truly the better team right now, but don't discount the Jets and their defense. This one is in New York. It could be a little bit tough.
Yes.
But give me the Lions. I think the Lions get to 500. They win today. Next game.
There are 2 notes. Jared Goff is worse on the road.
Yes.
He's pretty bad on the road, honestly. But no Mike White. I think that's the biggest determiner for me.
Next game up is the Patriots 7-6 at the Raiders 5-8. The Raiders are a 1-point favorite in this ball game.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
I'm going to toss this one to Alex Weister.
Why'd you have to give this one to me first, man? This is such a brutal matchup. Vegas is now actually a 2-point favorite.
It's 2 points now. Okay.
It's so hard to want to pick the Raiders, but you see some of the talent that they have. It's just Josh Jacobs might be a non-factor solely based off of that Patriots run D. They do have some good corners that could cover Adams. I think I'm going to have to take the Patriots. No upset.
No upset. No. Okay, so you're going to take the Pats. I will say this, though. The Raiders do play decently at home. They're 3-2 as a home team.
Yes, but this also plays into the Patriots' hands. If they can't get down there and score, they do have Nick Folk, who is playing in an indoor stadium.
Yes,
so
you're right about that as well.
Their way to a victory.
Aiden, who do you got?
Give me the Patriots as my upset.
Okay, Pats as the upset special for Aiden. I got you right there.
Belichick is a significantly better coach than Josh McDaniels, and Josh McDaniels is a former Belichick assistant. I think Belichick has a game plan dialed up.
Oh, wow. Hold up. Can we break in for a quick World Cup update?
Yes.
World Cup update. Kylian Mbappe just scored a penalty kick. It is 2-1.
Wow. Oh.
It's 2-1 in the 79th minute. So
we're seeing the Argentina we saw against the Dutch, where they're kind of reeling.
I don't know, but France has a chance. They're 1 goal down. There's 10 minutes in regular time and probably another 5 or 7 minutes in extra time. So this one is not over, folks. All right, back to the picks.
Yeah. Give me the Pats as my upset.
Marcos, who do you got?
I like the Pats, but also the Raiders have played good football this year until they've needed to play good football. Like they've lost like.
I like that.
They've lost like 5 games or so. I forgot the exact stat, and I don't have it with me.
They could be a lot better, man.
But they've lost like 5 of those games by like less than 1 score. You know, like it's been crazy. Like they have played decent football at times. They're not as bad as their record says, but give me the Pats though.
I'm going Raiders. I'm going to pick the Raiders to win this game at home. I like them in Vegas a lot. Yeah. I think Derek Carr and company get off the schneid. They've been struggling a little bit. They're very streaky. And I think this is one of those games where they're hot at home, and I'm going to pick the Raiders for that. Next game up on the Pick'em contest will be the 7-6 Titans at the 7-6 Chargers. Titans at Chargers, and the Chargers are a 3-point favorite at home. Who do we have, Aiden?
Oh man, this is a tough matchup because. I know the NFC South is a bit bad, but the AFC South is starting to look a little very mid because the Titans are reeling.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Pause. France just tied it.
Oh my way!
France just tied it. It is 2-2.
Is that Mbappe again?
It is 2-2 in the 81st. Wow! 2 minutes later, a disgusted face on Messi. Messi looks like he's in disbelief.
Let's get through this. We'll get to the World Cup in the next second.
It was Mbappe.
Mbappe.
All right.
Wow.
Let's make these picks. Who do you got? Titans or Chargers?
Okay, give me the. I think the Chargers are healthier now, and
yes.
we've seen that against the Dolphins. So give me the Chargers.
All right, Aiden's picking Chargers. What about you, Alex?
I'm going to take the Chargers as well. I don't think the Titans are going to be able to do much. Well, Derrick Henry will, but I think the Chargers offense will be able to carve up that Titans.
This is a big Jay Herbo game. I'm going Jay Herbo. So. I'm going Chargers. What about you, Marcos?
Give me the Chargers.
All righty, so it's a clean sweep. Chargers for all of us. We got a couple of more games to pick. The 9-4 Bengals are at the 6-7 Buccaneers because the Bucs are a division leader.
No, I don't like that.
The Bucs are a division leader.
No, come on,
and the Bengals are 3.5-point favorites on the road. I'm going to do it. Give me the Bucs as my upset pick.
James,
Give me the Bucs as my upset pick today.
You sold.
Tom Brady and company get off the schneid. The Bengals are riding high. They're going to take the Bucs not at face value.
Insanity.
And give me the Bucs in Tampa as my upset.
Didn't you pick the Bucs last week as your upset?
Yes.
How did that one go for
I'm still riding with the Bucs.
They lost
Hayden,
like 40 points.
Who wins?
The Bengals. I mean,
man,
the Bucs are not a good team. It's because the division's bad. They're even being talked about.
What about you, Alex?
I'm gonna take the Bengals.
Okay. What about you, Marcos?
Give me Cincy.
All righty. So all of y'all guys are going with the Bengals. Look, I gotta make something happen here, and this could be pretty big. All right, this could be pretty big.
What's the last game you want?
We got 2 more. Sunday Night Football. Giants 7-5-1 at Commanders 7-5-1. Washington is a 4.5-point favorite at home. This is a big game. This is a playoff type of game right here in the NFC East. Both teams are winning teams right now. Both teams are in the playoffs. Loser could possibly fall out of playoff contention. Give me the Commanders at home. I like the Commies. Give me Washington.
I'm going to take the Commanders as well.
What about you, Aiden?
Oh, man. The Giants are starting to reel a bit. Give me the Commanders.
Okay, so far all 3 of us with Commanders. What about you, Marcos?
Clean sweep.
Whoa, all of us are going with Washington. All right. And the last game is Cowboys and Jaguars. We'll save that one for last. We previewed it last segment. Cowboys at Jags. And the Jags and Cowboys, let me pull up the score here. The Cowboys are a 4-point road favorite. I'm going to go with the Cowboys, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a closer game than people think. Give me the Cowboys 27-21 over the Jaguars. Alex.
I'm going to take the Cowboys. I think it's one of those games where they're going to be able to shut down the Jags offense pretty decently. And I think they're going to start pulling away real fast, and it's going to play into their hand. I'm going to take the Cowboys 34, the Jags 17.
Okay, 34-17. You're going Cowboys. What about you, Marcos?
Cowboys 30, Jags 21.
Okay, 30-21. Good. And Adin, you're up.
Give me the Jags 24, Cowboys 21. Had the Cowboys lost to the Texans, I think they would have come into this game and play a lot better. But because they squeaked it out, I don't know. I think the Jags are going to be ready for them.
Wow, so you're going Jags.
24.
Interesting.
I've been hit or miss with the Cowboys this year, but I feel good about this one.
So there we go. That wraps up.
Wait, what's your upset, Alex?
I still got to do my upset.
Oh, yeah, your upset.
I'm throwing a Hail Mary. Give me Baker Mayfield and the Rams over the Packers.
Wow.
Really? Are you
on Monday night?
Yep.
In Lambeau?
Yep.
Interesting. I like that. That is gutsy right there. So there we go. That wraps up our NFL Pick'em. When we come back, we have 10 minutes. It's going to be a sports grab bag. We're going to be keeping our eyes on this World Cup, and we're going to hit some headlines. So let's go ahead and do that. Keep it locked to the Sunday Sports Rush. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush. It is episode number 99. One more segment with you. All the boys are here. It's James Espinosa. It's Adin Ducker, Marroquin and Alex Weister with you. In 10 minutes, it's Cowboys pregame. That kicks off at 11 a.m., the Cowboys pregame show. And then at 12 noon, it's Cowboys versus Jaguars right here on News Talk KEYS. We just made our NFL picks. We're here. We got about 10 minutes left with you. Get your final Cowboys and Jaguars predictions in on the text line, 361-882-5397. Got a text that came in from @3A South Texas fan. He picks Cowboys 34, Jags 10. He's also picking Bears 28, Eagles 24.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Is he a Cowboys fan?
Yes. He texted in earlier because he wants that to happen. So that way next week it's division on the line. It's number 1 seed on the line in the NFC.
Cowboys receiver 1 is Equinemius St. Brown, and they don't have Khalil Herbert to back up David Montgomery. So their offense is.
Is Justin Fields even going to play? I mean, wasn't he banged up and sick and all that? Like, I don't know.
Even if he plays,
there's a lot happening here.
How much extra time is there?
They haven't announced yet. So World Cup update here in the last segment. We're in the 90th minute, and it's Argentina 2, France 2. They have not signaled, they have not indicated how much extra time will be put up, but if you're missing the game, Argentina was up 2-0 at the half, and then just in the last 10 minutes or so, France has come back to tie this game with 2 straight goals, a penalty kick from Mbappe, and a goal off his right foot from Mbappe as well. And right now we're in the waning moments, and Argentina is defending for their lives as France is pressing.
It's been all France so far. They've been. It's looked exactly like the first half did for Argentina.
I saw that the France coach Didier Deschamps made 3 substitutions. He pulled out Giroud and Griezmann, 2 of his stars.
Wow. Oh, they just added 8 minutes.
Ooh.
8 minutes of stoppage time. And we'll see what happens with this one right here. Let me go ahead and read some texts that came in. I want to shout out the guys who got in on the text line. This is our sports grab bag here, so we're just kind of all over the place a little bit. But this one comes from Ryan L. Ryan L's in on the text line, 361-882-5397. Ryan says, good luck to the Aggies playing in the first annual Ghost Bowl this year for the honorable battle for the Bucket of Steam trophy, LOL. And RIP to Mike Leach. Mike Leach actually gave A&M their worst beating last season before he passed. All righty, so there we go. RIP to the Pirate, Mike Leach. And, of course, Ryan making fun of the Aggies playing in the Ghost Bowl because the Aggies didn't make a bowl. So there we go. I love the little... you know what, Ryan? I know you're a big-time Ag I know you're a big-time Aggie fan. Self-deprecation is actually good for the soul, the healing process. So I'm glad that we're seeing this out of you. This is awesome. This is a big step forward for you, sir. So there we go. Get into the text line, 361-882-5397. Some more notes to get to here as we are anxiously watching this World Cup final, 2-2 between Argentina and France. We are in stoppage time, about 6.5 minutes left of stoppage time. So we'll see if anybody can get a decisive game-winning goal here in these next 6 minutes before they go to extra time, which is essentially their overtime.
Free kick for France coming up.
Uh-oh. That's
Thurman.
huge. That's huge. That's huge right there. I like that. 361-882-5397. So it is Cowboys and Jags game day, and we are getting you to the top of the hour when we will have our pregame show. So make sure you stick around for that. Man, I'm sorry. This is just like, there's a lot going on right here.
Yeah.
This is like a watch party. This is awesome.
In a way.
Yeah.
Mbappe free kick.
So Mbappe is lining one up for a free kick. Let's see what happens. And it's defended, headed away by Argentina. All right.
That was a bad ball.
Yeah, didn't really get over the wall there, but, that happens sometimes. So, Adin, if Messi and Argentina choke this one away on a scale of 1 through 10, 10 being the most hater you could be, what will you be?
An 8.
Ooh, that's up there.
Wow.
Okay,
I thought you were going to say
like
10. I thought you were going to say 10.
No, actually a 7 because France are the defending champs, so there's that little thing of a.
Okay, LeBron James, Tom Brady, Lionel Messi. Rank them one to 3, the ones you hate the most.
Messi, it's not even close to LeBron and Brady. And Brady's like 1, and then LeBron's like 2.
Okay.
So there's like a big drop off between 1. It's actually Brady and then Nick Saban, Alabama. And then,
the most hated by Adin. That's interesting.
Wow.
So 4 minutes left with you guys. Thank you guys for getting in this morning. We do appreciate y'all being here with us here on the Sunday Sports Rush, episode number 99. Just a quick note for those who are listening. Next week is Christmas on a Sunday. We're not going to be here live next week. I think everybody knows that.
right, hold on. Oh.
All right, corner kick was fisted away by the goalkeeper.
God,
he fisted it.
I actually came across an interesting little note here from Schefter.
Go ahead.
Because we were on the topic of.
Oh my God! There was so much going on. Go ahead, Alex.
So we talked about Jeff Saturday not being the coach next year for the Colts. NFL teams in the past 5 years have spent $800 million on fired coaches.
Jesus.
And so in the meeting that happened in Dallas, they were kind of talking to the NFL teams like, hey, look, you guys are spending a lot of money on coaches that are coming in, not doing good, and getting fired.
So pretty much like y'all guys are costing us money here.
In a way, yes, because the Titans fired their general manager who had 4 full years remaining on his contract. Frank Reich still had 4 years remaining on his contract. Same with Matt Rule. It's a lot of money that's getting tossed out to these coaches who are no longer
because they still
on
owe
teams.
them money. Yeah, they still got to pay out the contracts.
And basically, the NFL, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think there really is anything they can do to incentivize teams to hold on to their coaches. But they were basically just in that meeting like, look, just be patient with these guys, okay? And now there are some, of course, exceptions, like with Saturday.
Be a little bit more patient because you're costing us money. Whoa, France on a breakaway. Oh, my God.
Also, Mbappe in the box. Absolutely
Oh my God! There's so much going on here.
There's only 2 things that that owners can spend as much money as they want. They could guarantee any amount of money that they want to a player within the salary cap, obviously.
Yes.
And they could pay the coaches $1 billion if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So I think the only way that they could possibly combat this at all is by putting like some sort of salary cap for coaches.
That would be fair.
That would be an interesting concept right there. I never really thought about a salary cap for coaches. As Argentina's trying to get a goal here. All right, guys, we got about 20 seconds left before we hit the hard out, and episode 99 is coming to a close. Don't forget, we got Cowboys and Jags pregame coming up immediately after the show, followed by Cowboys and Jags kicking off at 12 noon right here on News Talk KEYS. So keep it locked to 1440 AM and 98.7 FM. That's going to do it. There's the Hard Out music. Fun and interesting show.
Yeah, I can't say we've really ever had a show like this where there was an event going on
of such magnitude.
Yeah, I mean, we've had London games going on and whatnot, but none of them were this big. I mean, the Germany game was fun.
Yeah.
But nothing that meant as much as this.
So we thank you guys for being here. Alex, good job, man.
Appreciate it.
Adin, good job back there. Marcos, great job as always. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for texting and getting in, and we appreciate each and every one of y'all. We will not be here live next week. We will have a pre-recorded show. So for that being said, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Y'all guys stay safe out there. No more questions. We'll talk to you soon.